latest episode of Daredevil Born Again is available. Welcome to another edition of Geek Culture Congress podcast. I am Louis Speedy Jr. Gonzalez, accompanied by Rich Ortiz.
What up, everybody?
Less than 15 minutes, Rich Ortiz. Less than 15 minutes till Daredevil Born Again episode 4. Yeah, 4 hits Disney Plus. Speculation. What do you think is going to happen? Predictions.
I'm gonna have to leave this one up to you because I'm gonna be honest. I've been kind of sleep on Daredevil because I haven't seen any Daredevil yet. I haven't watched episode 3 yet. I was really entrenched this week with Invincible. For that,
Obviously, you don't know the spoiler.
yeah. So I don't.
So
I don't know
ending.
what happened. I'm actually gonna watch both episodes right after this. So you got this, Speedy.
Oh my
What's up with Daredevil?
Would you want me to spoil it for you?
I mean, dude, I didn't watch it, so it's my fault. So go ahead.
If I spoil it for you, wait, we need somebody else to end on this. Mr. Tarek Lewis, we live already, sir.
Welcome I thought we were doing 9. I thought we were doing 9 all of a sudden. So.
We changed it. I changed it. 9 is too late. He's messing up my algorithm.
Right, what are y'all trashing right now?
Well, nothing yet. We're predictions, expectations for the 4th episode of Daredevil Born Again, and Rich ain't caught up. And I don't know if I should.
I was just telling Speedy I've been sleep on Daredevil because I haven't seen any Daredevil yet.
Yeah, and they've been killing Puerto Rico.
You haven't seen right. Episode 1? They are.
Yeah, and you know what? And you know what?
Last so week, Puerto Ricans, it's crazy.
Last week they did my Puerto Ricans. I mean, well, they didn't do them dirty because R.I.P. To White Tiger. For those of you that don't know, he did pass away shortly after the filming of Daredevil. So from what I saw in the episodes, White Tiger, he got taken out at the end of the episode after he got off. After they had argued about not releasing his identity and all that, he actually had to use that for his defense and to show his character. It actually worked for him. But then at the end of the episode, you saw that they were playing no games, and they took.
So you were caught up.
So I did see the episode. Yes.
Yeah, you're caught up.
Yeah, I am caught up. I am caught up. I thought I was behind.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what happens when you have a irregular
sleep schedule. But I'm still asleep on Daredevil because I hardly see him.
You hardly see him. Okay, great.
The show should be called Matt Murdock at this point because all we're seeing is him in court.
That's true.
And probably
it's become a legal show. It's become Matt Murdock, the occasionally violent lawyer.
Occasionally,
and Matt Murdock. So one thing I am confused about though is, so Matt Murdock killed these 2 cops to save White Tiger, right?
No, he didn't. We thought he murked them, but he just gave him a really
So that's what I was confused.
Because one of them shows
that's what I was confused about.
Didn't want to blow up his spot because it would have blown up his spot.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right, so that is one thing that I was confused about. But
and it's not explained. You got to be like, your story following's got to be on point to understand what happened. When the scene happens. So predictions, expectations, Rich.
For me, honestly, it's kind of hard to say, man, because we're seeing all these rumors that the Defenders are supposed to be coming back for season 2. They're saying that they're supposed to pop up at some point in season 1. So we should be seeing Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Iron Fist somewhat soon. Not sure when, but that's supposed to be in there. My prediction is I think that there's going to be an influx of vigilantes that come in. With them saying that White Tiger getting taken out and all that. So I do think that the death of White Tiger is going to push Daredevil to come back, because White Tiger kind of, you know, told them in the last episode, he's like, you know, I don't do, you know, I do this to help people. That's the reason why I do this. He kind of gives them his backstory as to why. And, you know, you get a little bit behind White Tiger, the first Puerto Rican superhero, by the way. And you know, just gotta throw that in there. But honestly, like,
I ran with that all last show. You missed
yeah, nah. But no, yeah. My prediction: Vigilante. There's gonna be a lot more vigilantes coming in. Um, Hopefully Daredevil does come back soon. But I want to see what you guys got to think. What do you guys think, Tarek?
Oh, it's going to be a. I agree. There's going to be more vigilante. There's going to be some Punisher, for sure. I mean, I don't know how you do this season without doing Punisher, unless you want to tease us at the end, and like it's kind of a jerk move to tease us at the end with Punisher. So there's definitely going to be some Punisher coming in here.
Yeah.
You know, pause. But I think that also I don't know if it would be more vigilante. I think we're going to see more of this dynamic between Matt Murdock being Daredevil and Wilson Fisk being Kingpin and the Mayor. I think that's the dynamic they're trying to play on, is the duality of these two people. You know what I mean? Like, you know, listen, we're all hip hop fans for the most part. We never know which Kanye we're gonna get. So I think it's gonna be a situation of like, yo, which Matt Murdock are we gonna get? Like, is this gonna radicalize him? Is this gonna radicalize Kingpin? Because he didn't look happy when Homeboy got off. He didn't look happy.
No, and
It looked like
he was also the Kingpin was the reason why White Tiger got murked. And at the end of the episode, we did see Punisher take him out. We
yeah.
did see the police officers with the tattoo of the Punisher symbol on them. And which
Yeah. They're gonna play
yeah,
around with that because you know a lot of police officers have been
and
adopting that
yes,
Punisher
and a lot of police
logo.
officers have been adopting that. And if you've read the comic, we know that there's a storyline where the Punisher is actually like being copycatted, and there's like police officers that use it and stuff. So that could be a part of the story. What about you? What do you think, Speedy? What's your prediction?
Oh, is he frozen?
Oh, snap!
I think he's a little frozen there.
He is frozen.
Let me tell you what Speedy's prediction is. Speedy's prediction is something crazy. Like, I think Matt Murdock is the new Doctor Doom. Speedy always has some crazy. He's like, I think Foggy's not dead. He's a version of Kane, and he's gonna come in, and they're gonna use that as the universe. So that's what Speedy's prediction is, and we can just run with that as part of the show, and always criticize him for that, even though he didn't actually get a chance to say it. Who cares?
Yeah.
We're talking about.
Like, my prediction is more of a just my guess is of what's gonna happen directly from the last episode. I think we're gonna realize that Punisher was I think that Punisher was set up. We're gonna find out that Punisher was set up so that people go against the vigilantes. Now that White Tiger was seen as this hero of this case, they used the Punisher as a bad vigilante again, as they did in the season 2 of Daredevil. And this is going to be a whole nother dynamic of Punisher being the anti-hero, the bad guy, and how they fight, how they, kind of set him up. I think that's what directly is going to happen from the last episode. We find out that wasn't Punisher. They're setting him up. And then now we're getting into how the Punisher fits into all this.
I think we will see that, but I think there'll be some instances of delving more into the Kingpin situation, and we haven't seen Bullseye.
He's locked
in the
up,
episode,
right?
or he's locked up, and we talked about the adamantium situation, like maybe he has that. So we're definitely going to get some more Bullseye. We're definitely going to get Punisher. I wouldn't be surprised there was a slight allusion in the second episode, I believe, to Echo, where we get Echo coming back in. And, you know, I wouldn't be shocked to see Hawkeye. I think it's, or at least a reference to it, or some of those characters. I think Daredevil's going to serve as like this the home ground for grounding. You know, like everything else is big and crazy and weird and strange.
I don't think
and
they're
this
gonna
will
do
be
a
the
lot.
home ground for
I don't
grounding
think this
things.
episode. I don't think this episode is gonna do a lot. I just think it's gonna do some Punisher, you know, some Punisher interaction again. You know, he's gonna go visit him. You know, things like that. Building more, like you said. I like what you said about the duality of Daredevil and the Kingpin. There is like a dual. You know, Kingpin also has his dark side, and he's the mayor. And Matt Murdock has this, you know, the lawyer persona, and of course the vigilante. Daredevil. So I think they're gonna build on that more. You know, and I think all the other stuff you guys talked about, I think that's definitely in the future. I don't know about this episode quite, but
I also
I wouldn't say
near
this
the
episode.
end.
I wouldn't say this episode.
my one thing I will say, the dynamic between Kingpin and his wife, pay attention to that, because I think is what's gonna ultimately turn Kingpin back into the bad guy.
Yeah, you think they're gonna Luke Skywalker in the end of the episode, the end of the season, little Spider-Man interaction? Think that's on the horizon?
Bear.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
No,
I don't see a Spider-Man. I don't see a Spider-Man situation in this one. And I read somewhere that this is 6 years later than the end of the other Daredevil episode. So I don't see them, and I don't know where he met Spider-Man in that situation, or how long it's been since the end of Spider-Man Home.
Yeah, we don't have
Far
a quite.
From Home,
we don't have a quite solid timeline, definitely.
Yeah, we don't have. And I think it's too risky. I think it'd be too risky as a writer, as a producer, or whatever, to throw Spider-Man in there, not knowing what direction you're going to take with Secret Wars popping.
You know, they do the Luke Skywalker, you know, MacGuffin him at the end, you know. Little
I think
team
there's
action.
going to be a conflict. Sox is just saying, you know, Kingpin's not happy with his wife. I think there's going to be a conflict between, and there's clearly they set that up already. Like, she's like, "Yo, this is how we should be running the business," and you went away, and like, look what happens.
Yeah,
when you try to do things the right way, there may be some conflict there. You know, like, and hey, if he, I don't want him to do it, but if she turns on him, and there's a situation that he's got to like do something to his wife, that definitely turns him back into Kingpin. If this case doesn't do it, but if he has to fight her, it turns him back into Kingpin easily.
Oh yeah, I believe that. Very much so. So I'm here for all of it, man. Yeah, it's
an interesting dynamic. But
they're playing around with some things.
All think, and maybe I'm being overconfident here, but don't you all think? Do you all think you could land at least one or two punches on Daredevil? Do you feel like based on the show?
You know, before you get
based on how he is in the show, you think you get like one slap in?
I don't know. He gave the cops a skitty pap. You know, he gave them he did.
Yeah, he put the beats on the cops.
Yeah,
he put the beats on them.
You
could tell when he was, you know, which is why I thought he killed the cops. And I know I'm not the only one that thought that he killed the cops.
Because this one dude, his neck went the other way. Like,
it looked like he broke his neck. And it kind of like in that scene right there, you could kind of see like it's been a year since he's been Daredevil. You could see that he's been he's been holding back, letting loose, and I feel like slowly he's getting his juices back. He's just knocking off the rust a little bit.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and I will be honest with you, it's hard to fight in a studio apartment. You don't got no rooms to escape to. People just hit you with the skillets. They ain't easy.
Yeah,
they ain't easy win, dog.
Especially for a blind man. I don't care what superpowers you got.
yeah, dog. We in the 6x7. I don't like my chances. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
No, I'm excited for all of it.
I think,
so
and And you know the craziest thing and the awful thing, the worst thing they could do is to impose She-Hulk into this
Oh man, I don't
because
mind if they
remember she's a
shoehorn him at the
lawyer.
end.
He,
I don't.
She's
she's a
also, yeah.
lawyer. He had a
They might
situation
MacGuffin
with
her.
her.
You know what? Instead of Spider-Man, they might MacGuffin her at the end. Be
Might
you
throw
know,
her in at
Well,
the
they might
end.
just
That'd be terrible.
they need to
yeah,
bring
they might
in
Hail Mary her
some.
in.
They need to bring in a superhero because right now we should be calling this show White Tiger instead of Daredevil because there is no Daredevil.
White Tiger is definitely a more interesting. Well, they might
He's
Luke
well,
Cage. Luke Cage would be a nice one because
well,
of how that ended. I
he's
don't
in
know if
Harlem
anybody
chilling.
remembers that, but he's like the
He's like
kingpin in Harlem.
he's like almost the mayor of Harlem, right?
Yeah,
The
I
unofficial
mean,
mayor.
yeah, the alderman.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, so they could play
they
around with that definitely.
we might get more Punisher than Daredevil looking on how the last
Mm,
episode ended.
dang.
Honestly. So
Mm,
I'm holding on for hope that Daredevil
mm.
comes back hopefully this episode. If not though, that's going to be almost half a season without seeing Daredevil. We've only saw him for about 5 minutes of the show, which was in the first episode. So, come on Marvel. Tighten up.
Well, yeah,
You got him in
he's
the
got
first
to don
episode.
the
It was a
he's got
long
to
ass
don the
fight.
yellow outfit at some point, right? Isn't he
Yeah.
donning the yellow outfit this season? So
I don't know.
at some point, I
Maybe.
don't think they want to hold that off to the end.
Yeah.
Which I don't
We'll
like the
see.
yellow Daredevil outfit.
Nah, me neither. And then that was more like the swashbuckling Daredevil. You know, the old '70s storytelling of Daredevil. You know what I mean? And I guess they kind
Hey,
of want to
Speedy,
do
have I ever
that too.
told you real quick? Have I ever told you this? You old as hell, Speedy, because
Yeah.
you you want to swashbuckle.
It is.
You
He's like a
old.
swashbuckling Daredevil. I've read old comic books,
I
man.
don't even
Stop
recall
throwing
that.
me out there.
I recall the Daredevil from the '90s cartoon. You
No, that
talk
was
about
darker. You know.
1971 swashbuckling Daredevil. That's
I was
wild.
born in '77. I mean, I read these old books.
Hey,
You know. Hey.
hey, listen, man. Hey, I'm not here to squish anybody's banana, cuz.
Okay.
No Diddy.
No duty.
No,
Um, let's talk about something that Rich Ortiz is excited to talk about. The season finale. What season was it? 4? This was 4 or 5? I
This
don't
is
even
3.
know. 3?
Talk
Damn,
about
I was way wrong.
Invincible
Invincible,
season
ladies and
3.
gentlemen.
Relax.
The highest rated TV show joining the family of what was the Game of Thrones episode that that he fought the bastard,
The Battle of the
the
Bastards.
Battle of the Bastards.
Battle of the Bastards.
What a bunch of really
The
high
night.
rated TV
Yeah, the
shows. This episode is sharing that rating. I think a 9.9 or something crazy like that.
Listen, let me
Go ahead,
allow me
talk.
to
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
wax poetic about this episode. This episode was so dope. It was so dope, and I got spoiled. Like, oh, wait till you. For years, I've been spoiled on like, oh, wait till you see when he fights Conquest. And I was like, this is gonna be a letdown because I keep hearing about this fight with Conquest. And man, the fight with Conquest, it exceeded anything that I thought it would be. And to flesh out a character, and I didn't even realize that it was Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Some people were like, "Oh, yeah, that's Jeffrey Dean Morgan getting his get back." I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
because it
it
sounded
didn't
like
dawn on me."
he almost sounds like the guy who voices Omni Man. What's his name? JJ Simmons. Is that his name?
He plays J. Jonah Jameson, but it's not.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
And they almost sound similar. That's why I had to like look at the credits too at the end. And I was like, oh snap!
yeah.
I was like,
I forgot
homie from
that
Walking
man's
Dead got
name.
money, man. He be casting
J.K.
big.
Simmons. J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, JK
J.K.
Simmons. Sorry,
Yeah,
I
his
misspoke.
dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like usual.
The character of Conquest was for one episode. That's so well done. To flesh out a character in one episode like that is crazy. It's crazy.
So I will say something. Since I did rewatch the show within the last couple of days just to catch back up and get everything fresh with it for the season
Mhm.
finale, I did see Conquest in the first season when Omni-Man is explaining the Viltrumites to Mark, you do see Conquest in the flashbacks. If you go back and watch the show, because I just recently did it, you do see Conquest when he's telling them about the Viltrumites and their whole history and everything like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, man. It was just Adam Eve's development, Mark's development, like just the lines, some of the lines they said. You know, when I feel like I've heard it before in another show where Mark was kind of like, I seen the future and you're not there. I don't know what other show I saw that in, but it hit hard this time. And Conquest whispering to that dude, like, you know, to be honest with you, like, they don't like me. I don't even get a real name.
Dang.
My name is Conquest. I don't even get a real name. Like, they're scared of me. And I was
That's
like, oh
crazy.
my God, like kill this dude as a mercy. Like, you know, he's out of his mind. Like, this dude is out of his mind. And Adam Eve's power is developing. And Cecil, like I knew Cecil. I was like, man, I almost called Cecil the N-word. And Cecil's the whitest person in the world. I was like, this at the end, I was like, this, like, come on, man. Like, come on, Cecil. But he was like, burn his body. And Cecil was like, yeah, we'll burn it. I was like, I know he's not burning that body.
He wasn't burning that body. He looked
He's
at
not
him
burning
like
that
it was
body.
crazy.
Oh man, definitely a great episode. And you know, we may not talk about it later, but Paradise, the episode before their last episode, is being considered as one of the best episodes. And I like that it's being compared to Battle of the Bastards as some of these best episodes. But man, Invincible, man, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to rank this show in its entirety in animated shows, but it's touching Justice League Unlimited.
Losing Tarek little and little.
It's touching X-Men 97. It's getting close.
Is it my turn yet? Is it my turn now?
Go ahead. Yes, it's your turn, Rich.
Can we all just have a round of applause for Invincible? All of us. Speedy, you too. Come on. Come on.
Yes.
Listen, poetic. The way this show has been written and just seeing how it all accumulated to the end to the final episode is absolutely amazing. I have to commend the writers for Invincible. Now one thing I will say about Invincible, when a lot of shows concentrate and focus on one big bad during a season, Invincible's a little different where they give you a bunch of bad guys, and the same way we see the story arc of Adam Eve and Mark Grayson and Omni-Man, like you get a lot of character development in this show. You see the development of Omni-Man from going to good to bad to good, which is I'm going to touch on that in a little bit. You see Adam Eve, you see her character development, not just in this show, but in the other show that they had in between the two seasons, the Adam Eve show that kind of fits into this, which is what you see in the last episode, which I'll touch on in a bit too. Of course, Mark Grayson, but also you see the story arcs of the villains, of Langstrom Levi, kind of being the big bad in this. Titan. You see a lot of people, and you see those characters develop throughout the seasons, which I love about this show. You know, like I totally forgot about the symbiote brain people that are all connected in the sewers. Totally
When I saw
forgot
them, I was
about
like,
those.
dang, them again? Gosh,
Yeah,
dang it.
the aliens, like they're going. Martian Man has his own story arc. Samson, you see Immortal. Also the multiverse with Invincible itself, which is now what I'm getting into. Finally, now Invincible, his whole story arc. One thing that a lot of people don't realize, which they talk about a lot, is this Invincible is significant because of all the other Invincibles, which they make very important in the second to last episode. We see all those Invincibles come in, and we notice that all the Invincibles are bad. And there's a reason for that. And in this universe, Invincible, the reason why he's good and also the reason why um he's such an amazing superhero is because this is the Invincible that finds his powers later on in life, later than all the other Invincibles. So I love how they write that in because what they're trying to say is that the human element that Mark Grayson grows up with, the reason why he didn't get his powers till he's later is that till later on is that he builds his humanity. The fact that he's human and that he has love for people and that he tries to help people is his biggest superpower. Yeah, his superpower is that he's durable and that and that he's pretty much invincible.
Mm.
But you see Conquest during the battle, he even says that love is a weakness of his. And he even says it, like he comes out and he says it. He's like, you humans, when Eve supposedly dies, spoiler alert, when Eve supposedly dies, and he takes out Eve, Conquest takes out Eve, you see something switch in Mark with turns him go makes him go crazy. But Conquest says it. He's like, love, it's really a weakness of mine. And that's like the biggest thing. That's also the
Mm.
reason why Omni-Man turns from bad to good again. He says, I miss my wife. And Omni-Man, he's still on his way back to Earth with the alien, Seth Rogen's character. So that's gonna be another story arc we see. But again, at the end, Mark Grayson going crazy, thinks Eve is dead. Spoiler alert, she isn't dead. We see her kind of regenerate and come back. I'm not going to tell you exactly what happens. I want you guys to watch that episode. But the biggest thing about Invincible is superpower, him being so durable and him coming back and becoming stronger. But we see a dynamic here is like, is that his superpower or is Adam Eve his superpower? Does that help him become his strongest? Does love, make him the strongest superhero? That's
Yeah.
a dynamic that we're gonna see. And then at the end of the episode, of course, we see him talk to his brother Oliver, and then he says, you know what, you were right. All of these bad guys, they keep on hurting me and they keep on hurting the people that I love. And you see him at the end of the episode say, I'm not gonna let nobody hurt you guys again. So it's like, does Mark Grayson continue being that good guy? Does he become the Viltrumite? That's gonna be something that we see. And then of course the last thing, I know this is long-winded, but we finally get the rematch we've all been waiting for. October 23rd, 2016. We saw Jeffrey Dean Morgan use a bat with barbed wire to bust the head of Stephen Yoon, aka Glenn.
Yeah.
And we've been waiting.
For the
We've been
rematch.
waiting 9 long years for
Robert
that
Kirkman
get
style.
back.
Yeah.
For that get back. And we finally get it. Stephen Yoon versus Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Conquest. We get that battle at the end. And in the ending, it's so poetic the way he uses his head to kill Conquest. And kind of, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but the way he bashes his head at the end of that episode and kills Conquest, I don't know if that's a callback to The Walking Dead,
Mm.
or as the internet is calling it, The Walking Dead Redemption. But well written, boys. Well written.
Yeah, that was well done.
Very
Yo,
well. It
and
is a great
and as an
episode. I
anime
enjoyed it very
fan,
much.
you know what it reminded me of?
Mm.
There's an anime, very, very popular anime movie called Ninja Scroll.
Yeah.
Uh, where at the end, like it's just like a mortal guy, Gamma, and he's like, and the main character Jubei is like headbutts him with this bandana on, and he's just like headbutting him to like try to kill him. And I was like, it reminded me of that. Yeah, there was something very visceral about that moment that like it made you feel it. And it's like, this is a cartoon. It was like, it's making me, this is animated, but it's making me feel
Yeah.
that moment. Um yeah, yeah. And then the Walking Dead implications, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Go
just
ahead,
crazy,
Speedy. I
man.
forgot.
Robert
Me
Kirkman.
and Rich forgot you were on the show. Go ahead.
I know.
I'm just telling
Robert
you,
Kirkman.
dude.
Robert Kirkman
I'm
is
sorry,
so
Invincible was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Robert Kirkman is like, cashing, like he's like a millionaire now. It's like like everything that he's created, like he's been able to take, to another level. Walking Dead, Invincible now, and there's plenty of criticisms for Invincible. It's not, not everyone has liked the pacing of it and stuff like that. But this ending to the season, man, it leaves a lot to be desired. A lot of emotion, a lot of human emotion. That's getting into what we're going to be talking about with Joey. Joey Franchise is here with us today when we talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe and everything that's going on and that stuff. But a lot of that human emotion that's in this latest episode of Invincible. Joey, you got to catch up.
Yeah, no, I keep hearing how juicy
Invincible,
this show is.
I would like to introduce Joey the way they introduce Invincible. You'd be like, Joey Franchise, isn't that guy? And then it just cuts to a thing that says Invincible.
So the Russo Brothers got this show on Netflix, this movie that they've been doing a press for. Have you guys seen it? The
Electric City?
Electric City. No, it's Russell. I'll tell you guys the name of it.
Listen, I'm actually on Netflix right now. I'm watching
Electric
State.
Electric State. Sorry.
With Millie Bobby Brown and
Chris Pratt, Millie Bobby Brown.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Talk about other guys that are millionaires. Russo Brothers. Yeah, I like the movie, but it's not doing very well. Rotten Tomatoes. But I enjoyed it.
I know Joey's gonna laugh when I say this, but IGN gave it a horrible rating. Which we take that with a grain of salt. I watched the movie. It is a kid movie. I will say that. But even with that said, if you get past the whole kid part, I actually like the movie too.
Man, it's sitting on a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes. With a viewership rating, the popcorn meter at 74%. Talk about something that's really polarizing against the critics and the fans. I'll tell you that, or movie watchers in general.
From what I see, a lot of critics were saying that this is a story retold. The same story retold again and again. Things like that. I actually was against that. I enjoyed the movie. I thought that the message behind it was really cool. Accepting people for who they are. And things like that. I do like the whole. I
like the
with the brother consciousness from humans to machines. But I think the whole premise behind the movie is just that everybody has feelings and that we shouldn't just alienate one I guess race or one group of people because of misunderstandings or things like that. I enjoyed the movie. Again, it's a kid movie. If you're looking for this to be some big like multiverse thing, it's not that. What this is just a message behind the movie. Chris Pratt and Millie Bobby Brown, I thought they had a pretty decent dynamic in the movie. Thought it was pretty funny. I like how the movie, what really got me was the nostalgia factor of it. It's like the movie's set in the 90s, like it was set in the 90s to come into the future. So there's a kind of funny nuance with the 90s to it, which I liked.
It does. Yeah, because Chris Pratt's character was hoarding or taking stuff out of the Electric State area, that 90s items and toys, and he had Nintendos back there. It was crazy. It was crazy to look the Easter eggs, the 90s Easter eggs are in the
every
movie.
Chris Pratt movie is going to be stuck in the 80s or 90s. He's got a fascination with it.
Like he's stuck on this.
Like Quill is all 80s and 90s.
It's the Russo Brothers references. Quill. Yeah. But he's got this like stereotype cast that he always kind of just does.
Yeah, like the
like I feel like he's almost Star-Lord and everything. You know what I mean?
This time he looks like Thor and Star-Lord made a baby, and you got this guy.
Yeah.
But
like if John Bon Jovi gets steroids,
definitely not
like, where would he be? Be Chris Pratt.
Yeah. Let's put it in perspective. Craven the Hunter has a 15% on Rotten
And
Tomatoes. This movie does not deserve.
and I just saw Craven this past week again on Netflix.
I'm sorry you did that.
Harmful plug. I didn't think Craven was that bad.
No?
And
Really?
I thought Electric State, I watched right after it. I thought Electric State was better than Craven, but I didn't think both movies were that bad.
Well,
Craven's not a trash movie. It's not a trash movie. I haven't seen Electric State. I'm gonna go watch Wild Robot first. On Peacock. Watch Wild Robot and some other animated things. We got the Stranger Things 5 or season 5 announcement. So I'll probably just do a Millie Bobby Brown binge in some moment.
But what we'll do is I'm also what the most important thing that Russo Brothers were talking about when they were on press for Electric State was about, of course, what they're doing with Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars, and they were talking about that this is kind of going to be whereas Endgame, Infinity War and Endgame were an ending. This is a beginning of a storyline for them. So I thought it was an interesting, take. Like, what are we beginning? Are we beginning the mutant saga? Are we beginning a unified universe? With the mutants now, or more multiverses? What are we beginning? You know what I mean? Joey, I know you got some insight in that. You got some Dr. Doom news for us. Tell us what you think about Russo Brothers.
Well, I just saw them. They they were talking recently, and this is according to Comic Book. They were talking to them, and they basically were asked basically the story and like how Tony Stark's death plays. How does Tony Stark or Robert Downey Jr. Adapt from playing?
They talked a lot in this presser about Avengers
and how they killed off
about Electric State.
Right, like how they killed off Iron Man, and what does this mean for Dr. Doom and how Robert Downey's going to play him, going forward. And they literally like laughed because basically Doom's story actually is part of Tony dying in Avengers. So apparently, the death of Tony Stark is part of Doom's storyline. So they didn't really go into too much depth. But yeah, that's interesting to see how that plays off. I wonder if like the snap had anything to do with it. Maybe that's a reason why they didn't give us the how when Thanos snapped his finger, he saw the baby version of Gamora, or the child version of Gamora. I wonder if Tony might have saw a different version of himself through the being in that realm of the Infinity Stones. So that's an interesting take, because the original one was supposed to be Morgan Stark, his daughter, being grown like a teenager or young adult. So
cut that one.
That's what I feel like. Maybe that's plays a part, and maybe they're gonna revisit that scene just to kind of give us okay, so Tony's sacrifice was a huge like butterfly effect amongst the entire multiverse, and led to the version of Dr. Doom that we're probably gonna get.
I think it's interesting
in this upcoming Avengers movie.
I think it's interesting what the Russo Brothers said. What do you think about it, Tarek?
Well, I think too. We don't like with these stones, these Infinity Stones, which you really get to delve into. What does the Soul Stone do?
Yeah, we never really got a big detail as the Soul Stone. It literally just popped up. They found it, and that was that.
Yeah, they never really they never really use it in a fight. So
outside
what is
of
the
sacrificing
value
yourself
of the Soul Stone? So like perhaps these spirits are kept in the Soul Stone, and just get replaced somewhere else. I don't know. I don't. When the Russo brothers said this, I was like, what? Like, is this like an alternate reality type situation? And you got to understand, Doctor Strange saw all these realities where like we lose. This is the only answer. This is the only way we win. We only win in this one. And maybe Doctor Strange saw that, like, we only win in this one. We win, but you become Doctor Doom. And we just got to deal with that. we got to deal with the fact that you become Doctor Doom in this scenario, and Doctor Doom is inevitable. It could be a situation of that. It's an interesting thing to say. I don't want to say that they're doing it just to get us hyped up and have us talking about it, but here we are talking about it. So to the Russo brothers for saying that, because I don't know what that means. I assume that Tony Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Doctor Doom is a multiverse situation, and at some point we'll get another Doctor Doom, somebody else playing that role. And just in this situation, this is Tony Stark ends up being Doctor Doom, and he won't be Victor Von Doom. He'll be Tony Stark becoming Doctor Doom, and that's what they call him. And now I'm not sure. Now I'm like, are they going to just keep him as Doctor Doom, or is it going to be some thing because they're saying this? And it's like, at least we're talking about it. And they can always hit us with misdirection. So kudos. Kudos for pulling that off.
What do you think?
I mean, we've speculated on the storyline of what's going to happen in the Secret Wars so many times as to how Tony Stark's going to play in, where Doctor Victor Von Doom plays in. I'm still holding on to my prediction being that Tony Stark. It is going to be a Tony Stark, but it's going to be a Tony Stark variant of Victor Von Doom. I still think they're going to do kind of like that mind swap deal where Victor Von Doom kind of steals Tony Stark's body and he puts his consciousness into it. There's a couple of storylines that the comic books play around with as far as Doctor Doom and Tony Stark go. But I do think that them making it the storyline from Endgame, I do like how they're doing that because all of us did enjoy the Endgame time in Marvel and that Avengers. So I do kind of feel like them bringing Tony Stark back and Robert Downey Jr. from that, they've realized that was the golden ages of Marvel right now, and that's why they're kind of bringing him back. I'm always going to be curious to see how they fit him in. Hopefully they do that. I really hope that they go into more of Doctor Doom's story than Tony Stark's story, because that's something that we need to continue on with the story instead of going back to what they know worked. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm curious to see how this plays out.
We'll see. Well, we also are curious to see what plays out is Sadie Sink's role in the next Spider-Man movie that has been confirmed. She said that she's going to play Uncle Ben on the internet, on her social media. Of course, trolling people. But
I don't know how true it is, but I saw Spider-Man 4 Mary Jane Watson casting. That's what I saw. Now, I don't know if that's like a multiverse thing or if that's like how she fits into it, but I thought our MJ was Zendaya. And again, these are all rumors. These are rumors, so I'm not 100% sure how true that is.
She's supposed to be she's supposed to be Jean Grey, Firestar, Mary Jane Watson. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Gwen Stacy, I've heard, even, like, we don't even know. But here's my theory. Okay, guys, stay with me with this. Okay, and Tarek, you tell me what you think first.
We'll try.
May Parker. She's the daughter of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and Mary Jane Watson.
You think she's going to be that in this next film?
Because one, May Parker's a mutant, so that plays to the rumor of a mutant of Sharon cast as a mutant. Two, she's sharing the bill with Tom Holland, so that would make her a Spider-Woman would be it too. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man back hurt, and that's one of the reasons why May Parker takes over as Spider-Man, because her Peter Parker, her father in her universe is hurt and couldn't be Spider-Man.
So you think that it's gonna be like another multiverse type of deal?
Another multiverse thing. May Parker, what do you guys feel? Tarek, you start.
Yeah, Speedy, you always say something crazy. That's why like I love the show, because you always say something that's like clearly not going to happen. And on the occasion that it happens, it's a great moment for you.
Tarek, you always say how we need to get Joey in the writer's room, and I agree with that sentiment. But I feel like Speedy for once might be invited to the writing room. Like I like that. I even like the
maybe for the
I even like
Sonyverse,
the Speedyverse, yeah. I even like the idea. I like the idea that you said. I like how you tied in the whole back problems thing with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Yeah, and he got injured.
He did get injured.
And,
I would love to see a dynamic. Can you guys see me? I'm good.
Yeah, we see you.
All right.
yeah,
I would love to see a dynamic where the three Spider-Men that were in Far From Home. I would love to see a dynamic where they miss each other and they kind of like, catch up with each other, and that would be kind of funny. The pointing in a different way kind of deal.
What just happened?
It would be funny. It'd be like, because nobody remember. The big thing that people forget about is that in the Spider-Man thing, nobody knows who Peter Parker is anymore. So the only people that remember Peter Parker are the Peter Parkers. So I would love a little comedic play on their relationship with each other and how them meeting back up. That would be pretty funny. But this is all speculation right now. I would love to see the multiverse open back up and those three get back together. Maybe even more Spider-Man, more Tony Starks. But I know what we won't see, and that's Black Widow, allegedly.
Allegedly. Joey, what do you think?
I'm surprised nobody's talking about Firestar, man. You did? Okay, my bad. I was attending to my crying child.
It's definitely an option.
It's gonna be some redhead, but I definitely, a lot of people think that Jean Grey's up for that, but I think it's gonna be a Firestar situation. I'm kind of sold on that, involving it with the whole multiverse of things and how this is supposed to be a more grounded Spider-Man movie, but now because of it being sandwiched between both Avengers movies, I think we're gonna get some mutant action because we're trying to tease some mutant stuff, and I think that Firestar would be like a solid way, and also having maybe Iceman kind of giving it that Spider-Man and his amazing friends classic cartoon vibe. I think that's kind of gonna be the wave. I mean, Mary Jane is definitely not off the table since Zendaya's filming schedules I heard is pretty hectic, and I think they're gonna, from what I'm hearing, from guys like the Emergency Awesomes of the world, it's gonna be a Mary Jane Watson situation. Even a few other sites have kind of speculated that as well, and it's looking like a 70% chance that that's a thing.
Okay.
Well, do we want her to be Mary Jane Watson or Jean Grey?
She is my.
Like, what are we thinking? What do you think?
She would be cool as an MJ, but I mean, I think the Zendaya and Tom Holland dynamic it really, it was real solid. I mean, they made a relationship out of it in real life. So yeah. I mean, it's gonna be hard to really kind of introduce a MJ when there's already an MJ. I know they took it in a different approach to it, but I mean, I kind of was with Sadie Sink doing the whole Jean Grey thing, and I'm not opposed to her doing Firestar and them trying to incorporate a Spider-Man and his amazing friends deal with Spider-Man 4, with the multiverse being included in the whole storyline.
Like a Spider-Man and Amazing Friends thing is such a. I mean, I think only like me and Speedy get that because y'all are younger. Like that's a That's a very old, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a very classic. And I know we get it because of the Spider-Man meme is from the 80s cartoon. Like, everybody pointing at each other.
They made an
from the
entire
Spider-Man
Spider-Man cartoon based off the Steve Ditko comic. Like, it looked identical to the Steve Ditko comics. So
That's
I
true.
mean, they're not
That's
opposed
true.
to, diving into the nostalgia of things from one of their biggest characters, and that's kind of a story that's never been told. It's something kind of new, fresh. I mean, we got, like, how do you top, like, No Way Home? And, like, you don't, I don't know how
I
you
don't
top
know.
that. You
It's tough.
put all this, you put all the
That's tough.
With Peter Parker's mutant daughter from another
that
universe.
too. I mean, you could, but, like, how many people are going to be like, oh, I didn't know that? You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be pretty confused as to, who Peter Parker's daughter is. I think,
Yeah.
I think it was cute when they introduced it in the what was it, Enter the Spider-Verse, or
Yeah.
they put it in those cartoons. I think that was kind of cute, but in live action, for the average moviegoer and Spider-Man fans, and Marvel can't afford to drop the ball or do something super left field at this point. It's a cool, like, I mean, when you texted yesterday that theory, I mean, I was pretty impressed at that idea. But then I'm thinking about it from the average moviegoer, the person that is probably not as heavily invested into these films and comics as we are, and I don't know if that's just a route that they want to go, but I could be wrong. Who knows? I mean, Sony's also involved, and they've done a lot of far-fetched things, like drop a Craven movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're ready for Tom Holland to be a father. You know what I mean? I think he's
But
still
but is it?
No, it's not.
in
It's
this
not.
But
young
is it gonna
Mark
be
Holland,
Tom
it's,
Holland? Is it gonna? There are.
No, it's the other Spider-Mans.
I did see a
They
rumor.
already introduced all the other
I
Spider-Man.
did also see a rumor that they're trying to implement the cartoons into Spider-Man for, like, those multiverses into it too.
I saw that too.
So I mean, well,
Man.
dude, one thing that I just realized in my head, in episodes past, we talked about Miles Morales possibly getting introduced into the multiverse and him coming in live action. And we've said it and we kind of got away from it. Maybe this is the way that Miles Morales is introduced again, a multiverse of Spider-Mans. Maybe they expand it to where May Parker comes in. You get the Iron Spider, you get the symbiote spider, you get all these things. Maybe we get another multiverse of Spider-Man and different versions of them. Maybe we get Gwen Stacy, maybe we get May, maybe we get different. We get the Miles Morales, we get everything. So maybe that's how they open it up to where we get the different version of Spider-Man and get introduced to Miles Morales live action.
I don't know.
I want Joey in the writer's room, and I want Rich to play Tombstone or somebody.
Tombstone.
I don't know. I was just trying to figure out somebody your complexion. I mean, you had
Yo,
makeup,
let
but
me be,
you know what I'm saying?
let me be a white tiger variant, dog. Come on, I want to represent for the Puerto Ricans out here.
White tiger. Yeah, white tiger
Come
variant.
on, I can do that.
And Joey, Speedy, me and you are so old, we could play Vulture or something. We gotta figure out. One of us would be Vulture, and one of us would be King Doc. I'd be Doc, probably.
Yeah.
Can we say hello to Sophie, please? Like, can we just wave it?
Sophie, what's up, Sophie? Sophie.
Really, she got her toy in the front.
Hi, Sophie.
She got the.
Show me Catwoman.
Vader.
She got a Catwoman. The set with the Catwoman Lego
Hey.
from my big Batman Returns Lego set. Hopefully she doesn't break it. Yeah,
it's hers now.
Putting it in Play-Doh.
But it's now hers.
Kinetic
a special type of child to break a Lego. How do you break a Lego?
Mama Bear's got a point. They already set the groundwork for Miles being in the universe. We already met the
Yeah.
uncle.
So when are we gonna get that payoff? We've been waiting for it.
And you look better than Tombstone, Rich. Okay.
It's just Tom Holland looks so young, so it seems weird for him to mentor a young Spider-Man. Like, how young would this kid have to be? Because Tom Holland still looks young.
But it's not.
And at the end of
But what
No
we're
Way
saying,
Home,
it doesn't have to be Tom
He will
Holland.
be mentoring that Spider-Man. It's not Tom Holland's baby. It's not the daughter
It could
of Tom
be.
Holland. a Spider-Man.
No,
It's
I'm
the
saying
daughter
for Miles Morales.
of
For Miles
oh,
for
Miles
Spider-Man
Morales. I
for
see.
Miles Morales. That's
Yeah.
tough.
It's probably too early for Miles Morales.
Yeah, it's probably a little too early for that. And they haven't finished that. They haven't finished that Spider-Verse animated.
No, they haven't. Who knows what they're doing
Like,
with that?
and that's gonna be like not until 2027, I think. It's something
That's
crazy.
gonna be nuts.
Yeah, so like they gotta finish that. You know,
I think
people still
I,
want British.
I think
British
we'll end up
Spider-Man.
getting that Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, or what's the last one called? Is that what it is?
Enter the
Across
Spider-Verse.
the
I don't know.
Spider-Verse
All
Part
right,
2.
so
Also
I
called the
think we'll
Spider-Verse.
get that before we get Secret Wars.
You think so?
I think so.
Huh.
You got to think that movie came out 2 years ago, and they've been talking. They said that he
Yeah.
was
3
supposed
years
to
ago.
return a long time ago. So that movie was supposed to set to come out. Wasn't it supposed to be next year?
I believe so.
Yeah, Across the Spider-Verse came out in 2023.
Oh yeah, it's been a long time.
So
It's been a long time.
Part 2 is not set to
26
come
is
out
or 27 now, I
until
heard.
oh yeah.
27. Yeah.
But I remember originally it was supposed to come out in 26, and they pushed everything back.
Yeah. Strikes. We had the strikes and everything.
Yeah.
So thank you, Mama Bear, for saying I look better than Tombstone.
Hey, I think we talked about everything I wanted to talk about today, unless I'm
Um,
forgetting something.
Got some rumors. Well,
Yeah,
I got some rumors and some news.
Give it to us.
Just news tomorrow morning, 10 a.m.
Mhm.
Eastern Standard Time, 7 a.m. Pacific Time. We are getting the first trailer to Ballerina, which is a spinoff to John Wick series. So Anna de Armas is going to be playing that main character. I love the John Wick universe. I love.
Was she already in the movie, in one of the movies? Like as a
No,
cameo or anything?
she was
Or
in
was
Gray
it
Man.
a completely
She was in
unique
Gray
character?
Man, which a lot of people
Oh, okay.
kind of confuse her for. But she's the ballerina. It goes a little bit more in depth into where John Wick comes from, the ballerinas and the whole Baba Yaga thing. And so
Right.
I think this spinoff is going to be really cool. It's going to be. I'm even more interested to see Anna de Armas in a action role, because we saw her in Gray Man a little bit. We saw her doing a little bit of action in there. I'm ready to see her in a main role in this John Wick universe. I love the Continental, love John Wick, all four of them. So we'll see.
Cool.
Just I saw that USA Today, I guess, talked to Jonathan Majors and asked him if about the whole Kang situation, and he responded by saying, "I love Disney, I love Marvel, or something, or Disney, Marvel. I love those guys." So I don't know what that means. Hopefully, I would like to see him close out as Kang. So that's just where I'm at.
I think it would be a good little moment.
We should get a little something, hopefully.
At the very least.
Yeah, at the very least. All right, guys. I think that's it for today's show. Let's go watch that Daredevil Born Again. What you got?
First images of Mortal Kombat.
Right.
Yeah, dog. I was about to say, we're not going to throw up the pictures.
I wasn't feeling the Johnny Cage. I ain't gonna hold you.
You weren't liking
feeling
it.
that Johnny Cage. I don't know if Carl Urban was it.
Yeah,
I get
man, don't hit on my man Urban like that.
I mean, that's Butcher to me. He don't look like no Johnny Cage. He look like Butcher with a shaved beard.
I think we're used to seeing him like a little Johnny Cage, like a little younger.
This is what we got. Johnny Cage, yeah.
But they may be playing something
Kitana.
a little different.
This is who? Kitana.
Shao
We
Kahn.
got this. And then
Scorpion.
we got this, which is Scorpion we've seen already.
Yeah. Khan looks ill though. I think Shao Kahn looks dope in this situation. I'm okay with this Johnny Cage. I don't know.
Bro, people are hating on Johnny Cage. If you don't remember the first Mortal Kombat, that Johnny Cage knew no karate. So
chill, man. Don't disrespect Lyndon Ashby ever in your life.
So anything is an upgrade from that
My
job.
man said, "This is where you fall down." You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. He had a tagline and everything, bro. He was that dude.
What the fuck just happened?
Like I don't even like Carl Urban's stance. Is Johnny? Look at that. It looks crazy.
Does look crazy. Does look crazy.
I don't like the way he's standing.
Mama Bear likes
why
it.
that so much
Mama Bear
laughter,
likes
dog.
it.
That's
That's
so
it.
funny.
It's
Yo,
gonna make
never...
it's gonna like make at least $500 million.
I prefer Lyndon Ashby, Johnny
It'll be fine.
Cage.
I want to grab
I prefer Lyndon Ashby, Johnny Cage,
Daddy.
Robin Shue, Liu Kang.
Daddy,
Yes.
on the back.
Okay.
We're gonna have to put it on the
Yo,
show.
Joy's got a
What do you
whole
want?
issue with the whole Mortal Kombat new.
What did you want?
I don't like any of these decisions. I don't like Rashad Brooks. Is that's hilarious.
He's feuding with all of it. It's crazy.
That's hilarious. He's like, don't ever respect.
Even Puerto Rican Katana was dope. Was better than looking at
Is she
the
Puerto
other
Rican?
one. He was Spanish.
She's Spanish?
No, that the one who played her was Spanish.
Oh, okay.
The original Katana.
Yeah. She was a Bond girl. She was also a Bond girl. The one who played Katana was also a Bond girl.
I do remember that.
Yeah, and I had the nagging suspicion that Nightwolf was also Puerto Rican.
No, he was actually Native American for sure. I did
because
I thought it was Robin Shue playing two characters. I thought he was playing Liu Kang and Nightwolf in that movie.
Oh, no, I'm fine.
And no, it was actually I think it was the guy that played in the movie the Indian Cupboard. I might be showing my age right now.
The Indian in the cupboard, yo.
I think it was the same guy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Saint. Wait a minute, Speedy. Before we log off, we gotta find that out.
Do some research. Hold up.
I guarantee. I bet you that's the same guy.
Look at the.
Remember the Indian in the cupboard, boy. That is a callback, a flashback. Yeah, a whole small Indian in the cupboard. Yeah, how bad was America? It was like, oh, just put Native American in the cupboard. What was his name? Little Bear.
Little Bear.
Lightfoot.
Stop.
Lightfoot. Yeah.
Stop.
I'm on his IMDb.
He was in both.
That's what his name was. No. Hold on 1 second, because he's got a Native American name. His Native American name is Littlefoot. I thought that was his character. It's not his character. That's his actual name. Nope, it's not the same guy.
Come on,
not the same guy. Totally different Native American.
You're talking about the Nightwolf.
Yeah, Lightfoot. Lightfoot is the same dude in Indian in the Cupboard. Yeah, dog.
Is he?
Wait a minute. Yeah, Indian in the Cupboard. He was Little Bear. Little Bear was his character. The actor who was his name is Lightfoot, Gary Paul Davis.
Yep.
Professionally known as Nightwolf. He was definitely Nightwolf or Lightfoot, but his name is professionally known as Lightfoot.
He was Lightfoot in Indian in the Cupboard. He was.
Yeah, same person. You're right. Boom. Damn.
I know listen. I couldn't tell you anything else. I can give you some useless information. Like
Joey knew because Lightfoot is apparently a rapper too.
Right. He rapped for a few years. Yes. Very true. He has 6 Native American Music Awards and he was an Artist of the Year.
Last news.
Hey, real quick, we got to do a separate podcast. We got to do a separate podcast on the Native American Music Awards because I never heard of that. I never heard of that before in my life.
Last piece of news for me. Before it even has a release date, my last little thing, Amazon already has greenlit not 1 but 2 seasons of God of War. That's my last bit of news.
There you go. On the horizon.
I'm gonna tell you how near and dear and God of War is to my heart. They got to do that right, and they haven't done anything wrong, but they got to do that right. I can accept the Assassin's Creed failure of a film, but they can't do God of War. They can't do Kratos.
Yeah,
dirty.
no.
Yeah,
they can't.
I agree. The fandom will riot. It'd be crazy.
Yeah,
It'd be worse than
Man,
Star
shout
Wars
out to
fans.
Lightfoot. Like this whole show is dedicated to Lightfoot. I have no clue.
Shout out to Lightfoot, man. All right, guys, let's sign off so people will watch their.
I saw
Daredevil
Snow
Born
White
Again
today
episode.
too, and I thought it was all right.
Yeah,
Very
How
magical.
was it?
It was magical. Yeah,
It's all right.
That was dope.
Was
I got a
magical?
review
Yeah?
coming real soon.
All right, cool.
You,
A great Disney magic.
Dream World of Magic, yes.
you mean
Nah,
different
love
cultures,
it.
Snow
There's
White?
Dreamworld magic.
Mm.
That there's a lot of controversy with that film. I didn't even know
Culture
about.
appropriate.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it next
it's
week, though.
crazy.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Tarek Lewis, let everyone know on the audio version of how they can follow you, sir.
At the Tarek Lewis on Instagram and YouTube, and also I'm gonna create a new page at Lightfoot. At don't quit.
Mr. Joey Franchise, let everyone know how they can follow you on the
Get at
audio
me
version
at
of
Joey
this.
Franchise on the Grizzam on X and all that stuff. And yeah, at Franchise on Film, I'll be dropping my review or spoiler-free review on Snow White tomorrow.
All right, cool. Mr. Richard
If you're
Keys.
watching the video version, you will see this name right here. It's Richie_Ortiz. All social media platforms right here, Richie_Ortiz. That is RICHIE_ORTIZ on Twitch, Kick, X, mihente.com, and Instagram.
Of course, you can follow me at DJ Speedy JR, all the socials. Thank you so much for listening to us here on the Geek Culture Congress podcast. You could be part of the live show. We're always live on the Speedy's Multiverse YouTube channel. It's the official home of the Geek Culture Congress podcast, the live podcast. Go subscribe over there. Give us a subscribe, give us a follow, tell us how we suck. I don't care what you do, but come over here to the channel and hang out, okay? We always try and go live Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Enjoy the next Daredevil episode if you're going to do that now or you're going to wait. And, well, then next week, that's what we'll be talking about. So make sure you watch it between now and then. So when you come back, you can be part of the conversation here on the show. Speedy's Multiverse YouTube. Follow us on the gram, Geek Culture Congress podcast. All those words together on Instagram.
Word to Lightfoot. Word to Lightfoot.
Yo, respect, do the Lightfoot. Yeah, and don't come comment and say something negative. I don't know why Speedy allows that. Like I would delete your comments as well. Like,
Lightfoot people.
Boy, that dare took
Thank
me
you,
out.
Mama Bear.
Peace, Mama Bear. Peace, everyone.
Socks,
And
Mama
everybody
Bear.
else.
Oh, balloons.
The balloons.